just popped up on my Instagram. So I want to talk a little bit about it because this has been a theme with Kenny Pickett all off season, and he continues the trend. OTAs are over, mini camps over. I seen a video yesterday, Kenny Pickett going through his drops. He's been pretty much working all off season, especially when it comes to his drops, going through his progressions. He does his drop and he has a trainer, 1, 2, 3, looking through his progressions. So Kenny is doing a lot of work, especially with his footwork, working out of the pocket to be an on-time quarterback. And that's really what you want, and out of your quarterback to be on time, on rhythm. That's one thing Ben never really did. I mean, yeah, he could, but I always say it. Ben was more of an improv quarterback than anything. He wasn't an X's and O's quarterback. If there's anything I'll give an edge to Kenny Pickett over Ben Roethlisberger, is I think he's a real student of the game, especially the way he plays, especially the way he was making checks and calling plays at the line last year. He's very, very smart quarterback, and he's a hard worker. You can't take that away. That's one of the biggest reasons why the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Kenny Pickett. Even the scouts and the GMs and the coaches talked about it, his work ethic and being able to get the team together. That's the main thing you want as a leader, to get chemistry, being able to get these guys to come in and do work when they really don't have to do work. Right now, it's not mandatory. And that's another thing Ben's biggest issue was. I get this comment a lot on my Facebook pages and different Twitters, and I see through like Steelers communities and shit, is if Ben actually would have took care of his body, not being addicted to porn and alcohol, because he self-admittedly said he was addicted to porn and alcohol throughout his career in the NFL, and really never put in that off-season work. He just was a cocky, arrogant motherfucker, and he was just gifted with that frame, that 6'5", 235, 240-pound, 250-pound, to whatever. He's like 260. Let's be real. He's like a goddamn lineman playing the quarterback position. He never really put in that off-season work like a Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison would do rep after rep after rep after rep in the off-season to get chemistry. And this is what Kenny's doing it. This is not the first time Kenny's done this. This is the second time, third time, like fourth time Kenny's done this. Got his receivers together, got the team together, gathered them up, brought them out there and doing work. Now he's doing work with Allen Robinson, who I think is going to be – that's a solid receiver. That's a 1,000-yard receiver we got. We got a very, very solid wide receiving core. Kenny's got a lot of weapons, and he's got that new offensive line in front of him. Like, I'm really loving what I'm seeing out of Kenny Pickett, man. I'm loving it, man. Kenny Pickett is great, man. He's a great quarterback, and he's a great leader. That's what you need the most out of the quarterback position, man, is leadership. Someone that's going to call the plays, someone that's going to lead the team, someone's going to lead by example, not just by what you say, by example. And that's what he's doing, leading by example, going out there, putting in the work, putting in the reps to continue to get better each and every day. And that's all you can really ask from your quarterback. Because Ben, he just thought it was going to come to him. He just thought everything was going to be there. He can do whatever he wants, calls, plays. Kenny's willing to learn. He's willing to take advice and criticism from the coaches. He's willing to call the coaches' plays. He's willing to be a team player. He's not out there. He was even interviewed. I talked about it. He was even interviewed talking about what's his goals as a player. And he said, I don't look at individual goals. I look at team success. I don't care about my stats. I don't care about Pro Bowls. I care about winning a championship. And he was a champion in college, won an ACC championship. First time Pitt's won an ACC championship, and I don't even know how long in football. Let's be honest, Pitt football really hasn't been relevant since Dan Marino. So you got to love what you're seeing out of Kenny Pickett. I mean, I wish you could play the video. It wasn't much, but he was just running a few simple slant routes with Allen Robinson. But that's just the little things you need as a quarterback just to get that little bit of timing down, that 1, 2, 3. You gauge how quick Allen Robinson is, where Allen's making his breaks, and where you need to put the ball on time, on the money. And I think Allen Robinson's going to be a nice threat out of the slot for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then you got Pickens going over the top, Deontay Johnson. I already did a video about Pat Freiermuth talking about how he's probably going to go down as the best Pittsburgh Steelers tight end in history, at least statistically, reception-wise. I think he's already a top 10 tight end in the league. Pat Freiermuth is a beast. He's a dog. And then we got a two-time 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield, and Jaylen Warren, who's like a bowling ball, just knocking fools over. So a lot of people are counting the Steelers out. I think the Steelers want to make some noise this year. I definitely think we're going to get in the playoffs. We're going to win 10 games, and that's going to be enough to get us in. And it's really going to come down to division games. It's going to come down to division games. If we're going to win 8 games, if we're going to win 9 games, if we're going to win 10 games, because let's be honest, our division is one of the toughest divisions in the league. I seen a meme, I think it was from Sunday Night Football or something like that. There's 3 teams in the AFC North in the top. They ranked in the top 10 this year. They had the Bengals at number 1. The Ravens were at like number 6 or something like that. And they have Pittsburgh at number 9. I think the Jags is on that list. The Chargers, the Jets is on that list. Chiefs obviously are on that list. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of this offense. It's young, and the sky's the limit right now for the offense. A lot of people want to get down on Canada and the offense, but you're not going to have all these rookies on offense and just overnight be like a number 1 offense in the league. It takes time to grow chemistry, to learn the playbook, especially as a rookie, get used to the speed of the game. Like you hear NFL players get interviewed all the time, and what's the biggest thing from college to the NFL? And it's the speed of the game, because it's just ridiculous what some of these linebackers can do and the speed that some of these linebackers and defensive ends can run. You got 250-pound linebackers running 4.3 40s, 4.4 40s. It's just ridiculous. Could you imagine a 250-pound motherfucker running at you at that type of speed? Like, it's insane. So, now Kenny's got all the reps, and he's putting even more reps in that he doesn't even have to do. The shit Ben Roethlisberger would never do. And that's one of the big things Kenny talks about, is how he's in the film room all the time. And that's what you need as a quarterback, is a brain. And Kenny is a brain that I really do believe is going to lead this team to the postseason. So I just want to talk about this, get a quick live up. I guess I'll read the comments now. Let's see. Chiefs will win it all again. Sorry, Steelers fans. I mean, I think the Chiefs were ranked number 1. It was either the Chiefs. It was top 3. The Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals. I forget. I mean, I can't take nothing away from the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. You can't take it away from him. I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year. So obviously they should be ranked number 1. I mean, they're the reigning Super Bowl champs. Cincinnati, I think Buffalo was 2. Cincinnati was 2. Buffalo was 3. I don't remember exactly how it went, but the Chiefs are definitely a good team, bro. I can't take it. I can't take away from the Chiefs, but I think we can contend. I think we can beat you. I think if we keep the ball, that's the thing with the Steelers, is we're trying to run the ball this year. And how you beat the Chiefs is you got to run the ball. You can't get Patrick Mahomes out there on the field. If you can sustain drives, which I think Pittsburgh did really good last year, and if they can continue that trend, especially with the upgrades to the offensive line, and just possess the ball with our defense and limit Patrick Mahomes' ability to drive down the field, limit the opportunities he has to throw it down the field and air it out to all those weapons he has, like Travis Kelce and the rest of them. That's how you win the game. And you keep the defense fresh. And our defense can get after it. I don't care what nobody says. Blitzburgh. I mean, we're the Blitzburgh Steelers, bro. Let's just be honest about it. We can get after the quarterback. We get Mahomes behind the chains, possess the ball, get a few turnovers, and there you go. Game's over. That's like the Baltimore Ravens. They're a tough team. I can never take nothing away from Baltimore. I'm never going to disrespect Baltimore, because Baltimore is a solid franchise. They are year after year after year, and they have a top-down philosophy. They want to run the ball and play defense. So with like a Lamar Jackson he can't really play from behind because then you force him to have to drop back and pass. But if Baltimore gets a quick lead on you, they got that great defense, then they can really just go out there, run the ball, do little dump offs, do little just shit no risk. No risk. They could really little bubble screen, a little play action fake, roll out boot with Lamar Jackson. That shit can turn into 50-yard just chunk plays. Just easy little things you can do. Like this season, Kenny really doesn't have to do much. It's not like he has to go out there like a Patrick Mahomes and put the whole team on his back. You do little things like that, little bubble screens to Warren, little quick slants to Deontay, little quick screens to Deontay, quick slant to Allen Robinson over the middle. And then eventually the defense is going to open up. The defense is going to break down, and you're going to get George Pickens in a great matchup one-on-one with the safety, and you throw it up with the ball to Pickens. The offensive coordinator and the whole team, Matt Canada even came out and spoke about it. He said, George Pickens got a one-on-one matchup. I trust him coming down with the ball. So I definitely trust him coming down with the ball too. Definitely. The Steelers have been terrible since Bettis. PJ, you're not even a football fan, bro. You're a Raiders fan. You're from Detroit, and you're a Raiders fan because you don't like Raider Cousin, and then you're cool with Raider Cousin, then you're not cool with Raider Cousin, and then you don't fuck with racist, and then you're cool with Joe, and then you're not cool with Joe. So, PJ, don't even come in here and talk about football. This is a football channel, dude. It's not – you don't know nothing about football, so don't talk football to me. Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. You can't say that Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's won 6 Super Bowls, but Mahomes is building a great legacy. You can't take it away. The dude's building a great legacy right now, without a doubt. I mean – he's what, 25, 26, 27? He can still play 10 more years. And he's got a great coach with him. He's got a great structure with him. I mean, Andy Reid's one of the best coaches in the league. You got Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the league. That's a great security blanket for any quarterback to have a Travis Kelce who can literally just go like 5 yards, 8 yards down the field, turn around and just catch it. And there ain't no linebacker in the league that can cover that dude. There ain't no safety in the league that can cover that dude. He's just a huge biblical beast at the end of the day. It'll be sooner than everyone thinks. Kenny Pickett will be the quarterback when the Pittsburgh Steelers host their 7th Lombardi Trophy. Like it or not, it's going to happen. Get ready for it. I could see it happen. Steelers won't win for another 20 years. I mean, dude, we're already a top 10 team. Steelers don't rebuild. They just reload, bro. Like, think about it, man. We just are we're 2 years off of Ben Roethlisberger retiring, who you can say is a top 10 quarterback of all fucking time. A top 10 quarterback of all time, bro. At least top 15. I might not put him in the top 10, but some people would put him in the top 10. You got to put him in the top 15. I mean, he's one of the statistically best quarterbacks ever to play the game. He's won 2 Super Bowls, been to 3 Super Bowls, one of the winningest quarterbacks ever to play the game. Never had a losing season his entire career. And literally, we go on from that, and we have a 9-8 season. A 9-8 season. And now we have one of the easiest schedules in the fucking league. And so we filled voids. Some of our biggest holes last year, which was offensive line. That was really our biggest hole, and depth at inside linebacker. We picked up Marcus Golden, who's a 10 sack. He's a 10 sack outside linebacker, basically coming off the bench. We have a dude that can get double-digit sacks coming off the bench. Highsmith, who got 14.5 sacks last year, and TJ was hurt like 9 games last year. And the year before that, he tied Michael Strahan. And Cam Hayward, who's a double-digit sack guy, and Larry Ojanobi, who is a big boy, big beast defensive lineman. A lot of young defensive linemen who are hungry and are looking to make a name. And that's what the Steelers do, is produce great defensive linemen, great linebackers, and great wide receivers. That's one thing Pittsburgh is really good at producing and developing, is defensive linemen and linebackers and wide receivers. And we got a lot of young linemen, defensive linemen on this squad, like the Marvin Leal is a guy that nobody really knows about, but he came on strong at the last part of the season, and he has versatility on the defensive line. He could play D end, he could play D tackle. So Steelers, I think their defense is going to be really good. And Patrick Peterson was a huge upgrade. Joey Porter too. That was another big hole on the team was defense. So we basically got a first round pick in the second round with Joey Porter Jr. and we got a legend in Patrick Peterson mentoring this young defensive back crew. I'm liking this team. I'm liking this team right now because it's a legit team right now. Steelers won't make a wild card. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I think they're going to get a wild card. It's going to be sooner than everyone thinks. Kenny Pickett, I already read that one. LOL. Only Cleveland won't win for another year. Terry Bradshaw, Ben Rabyberger. I mean, you can make that case. Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls. But you could say that defense it was all about the defense back then. I mean, you had Mean Joe Green, you had Jack Ham, you had Jack Lambert, you had Mel Blount, who the NFL had to change the fucking rules of the game, bro, because of Mel Blount. They changed the rules of the game because of Mel Blount. Mel Blount was one of the greatest cornerbacks ever, man. And then you had a great offensive line, and Franco Harris literally was one of the best running backs in the league at the time. Like, Franco Harris was a beast, like, back then. He was a beast. That's why the Steelers retired his jersey, because he pretty much was the offense. He was the engine that drove the offense. I mean, the defense was the anchor, but Franco Harris was the engine driving the whole entire offense and scoring points. I mean, the defense can go out there and score points, wreck points, and destroy the quarterback. I mean, obviously, it's still curtain, but hey, Ben statistically was better, but it was a different game, though, at the time. So, like, you know what I mean? Quarterbacks weren't really going out there airing it out. They didn't really have the 5 wide. It was more like I forms, heavy sets. Really, maybe you might see a 3 wide receiver set, 4 wide receiver set, but it was nothing like today. Like, these quarterbacks just going out there spreading out every time, and just like Peyton and Brady and the rest of them. Rodgers. Hell, even Rodgers don't really do that. Rodgers kind of comes out of I forms and single backs a lot. Ben would always come out of 5 wide. Like, it was ridiculous. But in Cleveland, shit, that is Cleveland. Cleveland hasn't won a division since 1989, bro. Cleveland straight trash. Cleveland is the most trash. Next to the Detroit Lions, I say Cleveland is the bottom barrel trash of organizations there is, and it starts at the top, bro. Their ownership is terrible. Their management's terrible. They're always making changes, and they can never get any consistency or chemistry. That's why I get so mad at Steelers fans who want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. Like, Mike Tomlin's resume speaks for itself, bro. It's a Hall of Fame resume. And, like, these dudes, like, I just made a post on my community post about Mike Tomlin. Like, literally, since year 2000, bro. Since year 2000, he has more playoff wins than literally he has more or is tied with at least 22 franchises since year 2000 with 8 wins. And he's only been coaching since 2007. Since 2007. So, like, all these haters in the Steelers fan base, like, hate on Mike. They make this narrative that he lacks postseason success or some shit. Compared to who? And then they literally, they were saying, oh, well, do the last 10 years. Do the last 10 years, and we'll see how many. So basically, that's what I called them revisionists. So they're saying do the last 10 years. So they pretty much just want to erase like 4 or 5 years of his career to like suit their narrative that Mike Tomlin isn't a winningest coach. Like, Mike Tomlin isn't the winningest coach in Pittsburgh Steelers history with a .636 win-loss percentage. They don't want to talk about that shit. But the fact is, Mike Tomlin has a better win-loss percentage than Chuck Noll. Better win-loss percentage than Bill Cowher, a better win-loss percentage than Tony Dungy. Like, his resume literally is stacking up to a lot of Hall of Fame coaches. How long did it take for Andy Reid to win a fucking Super Bowl, bro? I mean, he went to how many NFC championships? And it took him like 20 years to win a Super Bowl. Like, Steelers fans are just so spoiled. They expect a fucking Super Bowl overnight, like it's going to happen. Like, Tomlin led this team to a 9-8 season. A 9-8 season. And nobody had us there. We had a rookie at quarterback. I mean, we changed quarterbacks not even mid-season, from Mitchell Trubisky, who's nothing but a journeyman backup, and to a rookie quarterback who led us to a winning season. Second-year running back, second-year tight end, like a fourth or fifth-year wide receiver, a rookie receiver out there starting, and a horrible offensive line that we addressed tremendously in the offseason. And the reigning defensive player of the year was out for fucking what, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, bro? And he's still the highest paid defensive player in the league, too. So that's literally, he's eating up a majority of our cap room, and he was sidelined for the half of the season. And Mike Tomlin was still able to lead this team to a winning season. You can't, that's coaching, bro. That's no more, no less. That is coaching. That's Tomlin motivating the team and keeping the team bought into what the team is doing. Like, literally, most teams would just gave up, bro. Cleveland would have fired Mike Tomlin fucking 3 games into the season. Cleveland fired Bill fucking Belichick, bro. Cleveland fired Bill Belichick, who went on to win 6 Super Bowls. So if you're firing coaches midway through the season, that you're just basically just throwing your whole season away. Pittsburgh will never do that. They're not about tanking. They're about the business of winning, and they're not going to fucking do that shit, bro. They're not going to come out there and just tank a fucking season away for a draft pick, because the Pittsburgh Steelers are bigger than one man and one player. This is about building a culture, and the culture is winning, bro. And we're one of the most winningest franchises in the league, period, point blank. Teams wish they can win like us. How long did it take for Kansas City to win a fucking Super Bowl, bro? It took like 50 years for Kansas City to win a fucking Super Bowl, dude. Now they got Patrick Mahomes. Now there's like party in Kansas City. Like, it's crazy, but it ain't easy to win a Super Bowl. Shit, it ain't easy to make the playoffs. Cleveland didn't make the playoffs for 20 years. Cleveland hasn't won a division since 1989. So these haters, they also act like the regular season doesn't matter. The regular season matters, bro. That's a tough fucking road that you got to go through every week, week in, week out. You got to deal with injuries. You got to deal with the media. You got to deal with Stephen A. Smith trying to create some controversy and some in-locker room drama. Like, there's and players on social media wanting money. There's so much shit you got to deal with. And Tomlin's still able to motivate and galvanize and keep the team together and moving as a team and as a unit. So Mike Tomlin's a great coach. Mike Tomlin's a Hall of Famer. I'm just tired of the haters, man. I'm tired of the haters, man. And they have sucked, and they'll always suck no matter what they try. Cleveland will always suck. And Cleveland will always suck. It's just, it's a top-down thing. That's why the Rooneys, they know how to do business. Like, when you seen Franco Harris's wife crying in the arms of Art Rooney Jr. when they retired that man's jersey, it's just a respect thing. Like, the Steelers, if you respect the Steelers and you work hard for the Steelers and you go out there and you perform and you live up to that Pittsburgh Steelers standard, you'll be set for life, bro. They'll give you a job within the office. They'll let you reach out to the community, something like that. It's like a family, bro. We are family, bro. It's like a cult, bro. It's like a religion in Pittsburgh, man. It is straight up like a fucking religion, bro, the Pittsburgh Steelers, because every motherfucker around here is basically, their daddy was a coal miner, their daddy was a steel mill worker, their granddaddy, their great granddaddy. It's straight up, it's a cult, bro. It's a cult. That's why, back in the 70s, when Pittsburgh won the 4 Super Bowls, and the NFL came to him and they was like, "Oh, do you want to be America's team?" The chief was like, "Nah, we ain't America's team. We're Pittsburgh's team. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers." Because there was nobody on the Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon in the 70s until they won the 4 Super Bowls. And then everybody and their mother and brother was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. All right. And there's a lot of that in the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. I hate to say it, but a lot of bandwagon bitches. And then, 2-3 weeks in the season, the shit doesn't go well. We're not a top team in the league. You got these bitches calling for everybody to get fired, fire this guy, release this guy, release that guy. They're not real fans. They're just rooting because we're winners. They don't buy into the culture. They're not a real Steelers fan. They're not from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just pick a winner. That's all. They're just picking a winner. They're just hopping on the bandwagon. Which it is what it is. I mean, it's not no big thing, but there's a lot of bandwagon motherfuckers in the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. Let's just be real about it, bro. They won't admit it. But you know damn well they're bandwagon fans. They ain't real fans. They posers. Just posers. But hey, I just want to talk about this because Kenny, he's putting in the work. Dude put on like 20 pounds this offseason. So you can't deny the work ethic of Kenny Pickett. And you know what they say, hard work pays off. And he steadily climbed the ladder last year in the quarterback rankings. And like I'm trying to think, like in our division, he's probably better than Deshaun Watson right now. He's not better than Mahomes. He's not better than Burrow. I wouldn't put him ahead of Lamar Jackson right now. He's better than Tannehill. He's better than whoever Tennessee's going to throw out there as a starter. You could Lawrence, I'd probably put ahead of him. He's better than Houston's quarterback. I'm just thinking the teams in the AFC. Let's see. I'd say he's right there with Jimmy Garoppolo with the Raiders. He's just as good as Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo don't kill you with the numbers. Jimmy Garoppolo can win. He's a good game manager. He's smart. He takes what the defense gives you. But he's not a world beater. So I'd put Pickett right there with Garoppolo. Let me think. The Raiders, Broncos. I'd put Russell Wilson ahead of him right now. I'm not going to say he's better than Russell Wilson. The Chiefs, Mahomes better. Who am I missing? The Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders. Who else is in that trash-ass division? Chargers. Justin Herbert's ahead of him right now. The East. I mean, Rodgers is getting pretty old. You got Buffalo. Tua is better than him. Well, I'd say he's better than Mac Jones. I would put him ahead of Mac Jones in the Patriots for sure. I'd put him ahead of Mac Jones. I'm not even going to do NFC. I'm just thinking the AFC. There's a lot of quarterbacks better than him in the AFC, but he's steady climbing. He's right there with a lot of these quarterbacks. So I'd say he's right there with Danny Dimes too. I seen this dude. His name's Deke or something like that. He's a Pittsburgh dude. He does this podcast with Arthur Moats. And he made a video. I just seen it on Instagram today, actually. He's making, who's Mitchell Trubisky better than? And he put Mitchell Trubisky ahead of Danny Dimes. I wouldn't say he's better than Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky's better than Danny Dimes, but I'd say Pickett's right there with him, bro. Your team needs to really go out there and sign Saquon Barkley. I don't know what's your team, because he's your whole offense. I mean, he's your whole offense. Y'all got to give him a deal. You got to give him a deal, because without Saquon Barkley, Danny Dimes ain't doing shit. Because your whole offense is kind of like, you got a lot of play action rollouts, play action boots, and they complement each other well. Because Danny got a little bit of mobility. But come on, man. Danny Dimes was just not a good pick. Danny Dimes, I mean, he led you to the playoffs last year. Okay, he helped. But Saquon is the man. He's the go-to guy on offense. Just like Najee Harris is going to be the go-to guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. He's going to be getting the ball. Like, he's going to be touching the ball so many times. I seen some shit on ESPN. He counted for like 55% of the Giants' touches or something like that. Just a ridiculous amount. Like, he's pretty much your whole offense. So for you not to bring him back, it's crazy. For you to sign Danny Dimes to a long-term deal before you got Saquon locked up is crazy to me. He hasn't even thrown for 4,000 yards. My projection for Kenny is he's got to throw for at least 3,500 this year. At least 3,500. I have a poll running on my Twitter right now. Will Kenny Pickett throw for 4,000 yards? I mean, it's obviously biased. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, it's like 55-45 say yes. I don't think he's going to throw for 45. I don't think he's going to throw for 4,000. But with all the weapons we have now, the tight ends, the running backs, he's better to throw for at least 3,500. If he throws for 3,500, gives us 20 touchdowns and only throws 10 interceptions, and just manages the game, takes what the defense gives him, and our defense gets back to the way the defense should play. And that's another thing the Giants are so good is the defense. Your defense was pretty damn good last year, too. It's not just Danny Dimes. And it's not just going to be Kenny Pickett this year, but Kenny Pickett's got to progress. He's got to progress from, he threw like 2,800 yards or something like that, 7 interceptions, 7 touchdowns, like 12 interceptions, something like that. That's got to be better. He's got to throw more touchdowns than interceptions. He's got to limit those interceptions. And really, a lot of them came in like his first game that he got thrown into the fire in the second game against Miami's defense, which is one of the best defenses in the entire league. So, and he was a rookie. And some of them turnovers, I wouldn't even really count as turnovers because it was late in this late, and he just threw it up there. Like, there was at least 2 or 3 of them that I probably wouldn't have blamed. I wouldn't blame on Kenny Pickett. There was one that hit Claypool right in his hands that he dropped and it went up and it hit the defensive back in the hands. And then we got rid of Claypool, obviously, for obvious reasons. Pickens is better. Pickens is one of the best deep ball receivers in the league per PFF and his fantasy grade and all that bullshit. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Anytime's had 700. He can run the ball. Pickett had like 300. Pickett had like 400 last year. Pickett got wheels too. That's the thing. But that's what I like seeing, this work that he's doing. He's really working. He's going through his progressions. It's just like you just see him doing a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 over and over and over again. 1, 2, 3, just repetition over and over and over again. And Kenny's putting in the reps. He's putting in the work. And we're back, bro. Pittsburgh's back, bro. You can never count us the fuck out, dude. We never say die. That's what I be saying all the time in my videos. Shit ain't motherfucking sweet in Pittsburgh, boy. We always gonna fight. We always gonna ride, and we always gonna die. And we're never gonna give up. We're never gonna say die. We're out there to win a Super Bowl every year. The Roonies are trying. They're not gonna just tear down a roster just to give up an entire season. They'll never do that. And that's why I think so many players want to play for the Steelers. That's why I feel so many players are willing to take contract hits, take cuts, restructure their contracts to keep playing with this organization, to keep playing for this culture, and to keep playing for a winner. Because you get a lot of old players like Joe Hayden. A lot of people thought he was done when he came to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then he came back to Pittsburgh and he got back to Pro Bowl caliber level. And hopefully we can get that out of Patrick Peterson with this culture, what we're doing with Mike Tomlin. He even said with all these young defensive backs around him, he feels he can play for 3 more years in the league. And he's been a great mentor. That's all you see out of training camp is him mentoring Joey Porter Jr., And I think Joey Porter Jr. is going to be our best rookie that we drafted. Him and Broderick. I don't know if Broderick's going to start this year. They're talking about Dan Moore starting over Broderick. Maybe that'll be. I made a video saying Broderick's going to be the starter over Dan Moore. I think he should be. But I think impact-wise, Joey Porter Jr. is going to have the most impact of all the rookies this season. I think he's going to have at least 2, 3 picks, and they could be some big impact picks. Maybe pick 6 type shit. Because, I mean, his dad was a beast. He's getting mentored by a Hall of Famer. So he's got all the intangibles. He got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the ball skills. He's got the pedigree. And he's got the mentor in Peterson. And he's got the coach in Tomlin. So, Tomlin was actually a defensive back coach for Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay. That's where he got his start. He is a defensive back coach. So, we'll see what we can do this year. I've been going for like a half an hour. Damn. I got to work this midnight shift tonight. So I'm going to end this. I just want to do a live. I thought it was going to be quicker than it was. But I got some good people in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Kenny Pickett. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to keep coming with sports content. Fuck all this bullshit and all this drama. I'm done with it, dude. I always say I'm done with it. But I've been really putting out a lot of videos on this channel. I got fucked because my Facebook page got censored. So I'm starting a new Facebook page. Hopefully I can get it. It's doing all right, but it's a fucking process, man. It takes time. I really worked hard on that fucking Facebook page, and I would get crazy views. But that's basically where all my views came from, was my Facebook page, and now my shit's kind of low. So I'm working on trying to get my watch hours up because my jealous ex bitch deleted all my fucking videos on here. I had so many good videos. I had funny ass videos too, me fucking roasting Quantrell Bishop, roasting him, roasted his ass, just owned him. I don't care what nobody. I owned his ass. That's why he's mentioned me in videos, because he knows. He knows. I owned his ass because that dude. He don't really be talking about Pittsburgh no more neither. That's the funny thing. He used to talk mad shit on Pittsburgh all the time. He don't be talking about Pittsburgh no more. He knows I'm gonna come at him for his dumb shit. I'm gonna come at him every time. But I think he actually got a job now. He's working. But I gotta get to this midnight. Here we go, Steelers. I'm gonna keep coming with the content. I want to do a baseball show with you, Mets. I wanted to talk to you about that. Honestly, I'm not a big MLB fan, So I would like to get some MLB fans and just talk like maybe once a week, some broad, you, Brandon. No real shit. Real shit, he's done. He's cut until he goes to rehab. Like he's done. Real shit got to go to rehab. Yeah, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. I can't be his friend no more. He's just too fucked up in the head. He need help. He needs help, and I can't until he gets help. I can't be his friend with him. He's call and cry to me about Barbara and whatever shit. I ain't gonna take his calls. I ain't gonna take none of that shit. Real shit. You're dead to me, bro. Straight up until you go to rehab and get a fucking job, dude. I'm stirring it up a little bit, but I've been actually putting out some NBA videos, and I'm a diehard NBA fan. I could talk NBA all day. I could talk Pittsburgh Steelers all day. I've been going on for 35 minutes by myself, just rambling about the Steelers pretty much. So, and this is just the off season, bro. There really ain't no news. There ain't no football to really talk about, but I'm still coming with it. And I'm going to keep it coming, especially we're like 80 days, 86 days, 85 days away from the season. It's right around the corner, baby. Training camp's about to be coming up here soon. Preseason is going to be here before you know it. So here we go. Steelers got a tough division, but an easy schedule. So like I keep saying, it's going to come down to these division games. I say we go at least 3-3 in the division, we're going to make the playoffs. We go 4-2 in the division, we're definitely making the playoffs. We go 2-4 in the division, we're probably not going to make the playoffs. We ain't going to make the playoffs. So I think we can get the Browns twice. Hell, we might be able to get Baltimore twice, honestly. Maybe Cincinnati once. We got Cincinnati once last year. Why can't we get them again this year? We're a hell of a lot better than we were last year. So we'll see what happens.